This is the best $15 you can spend as a midterm rental operator. My name is Ruben. I'm a temporary housing specialist where we help investors nationwide turn their quarterly rental income into their monthly income by specifically working with insurance companies and relocation companies. Now, $15 is a very light price to pay for thousands and thousands of dollars in booking. And this fee right here that I want to share with you is based on a platform that you should be utilizing, that most people think they're utilizing the right way from the short-term rental world, but they're probably not. That is a dynamic pricing tool. Why is that important? Before you say, oh, I know that. No. Time out. Let's listen closely here. Dynamic pricing tools are not all used as efficiently as they should be, especially for those who are not privy to the information I'm about to share now, which I typically do share as one who believes you should be operating in a hybrid model. Hybrid model being you're optimizing for longer stays, but you still don't mind capitalizing on short-term stays, because kind of like the airline industries, you wouldn't want to have a plane take off with empty seats, just like you wouldn't want to have your home sitting vacant when it is furnished accommodation, even if it means you could host somebody for a couple days to make a couple dollars. That should not stop you and prevent you from having the strategy that we love, is again longer stays for less turnovers and less headaches, and of course more profit. So if that's you and you actually buy into that doctrine, very good. You are really going to benefit from what I'm about to share next with you, because how most are using their dynamic pricing tools is on the short-term rental side, and perhaps you're probably not even using it on the midterm rental side. And if you are, you're probably not using it this way. So when do we take a step back and identify why we're even talking about this? The way to capture a lot of the relocation companies who are working with displaced families to find operators like you is to make sure, A, you have availability. One of the things I'm known for is I talk about the concept of duplicating your listings, which is now duplicating an account, which means you have an STR listing, you have an MTR listing. The reason that's important, I have a lot of content around that, is so that you can always make yourselves available. But how do you prevent people from booking your STR booking out so far out that you might not even be in a position to host a family for 30, 60, 90 days? Because when they do reach out, you're booked and busy, and you're booking busy with scattered bookings, which is honestly not the business you want to be in. Well, there is a way you can do that, and that is by leveraging a dynamic pricing tool such as a Price Labs. The reason why that is so critical is because dynamic pricing tool will allow you to restrict the pricing so that outside of, let's say, a 30-day window, we like to use 30 days. You got to look at your marketplace to see what makes sense depending on how far people are booking out until they come into your home and arrive into your home. And when they start looking, that's called the booking lead time. You want to know what that is in your marketplace. But a good number that I've seen across the nation is 30 days. And so what you want to do is, on the dynamic pricing tool, there is an advanced setting where you can go ahead and click into the far out pricing, or click into the area that has a premium. And the reason I don't want to share here is because they change their platforms all the time and their UI user experience. So I don't want to show you a screen that doesn't make any sense. But essentially what you want to look at for far out pricing. If you don't know how to do that, use AI, Google it, it'll be there. When you look at far out pricing, you want to make sure that essentially that the price is increasing in a 30-day window. And the reason that's important is you want to make sure that people are only booking your STR listing and not at the price that's reasonable in the marketplace, in your marketplace. But you want to discourage them from booking outside of that window so that you can save that window for longer term stays. Because the thing is, what gets tricky if you're trying to get into this space and you're still accepting people 2 months out, 3 months out, etc. When you get that inquiry, you now have to do damage control and start canceling those bookings if it is juicy enough for you to do that. But it's still not best practice for anybody to do that. For the guests, it's not a good experience. For you, it's a headache, it's stressful. So there's a way you do it where you actually keep it limited. So maybe you only might have to move a few people, 1 or 2, but not 30, right? And so dynamic pricing tool, $15, allows you to actually not have to go manually do that, but it has it on a moving 30-day window where the price is going to be a premium for them to book, right? If you're currently getting value from watching this video, you'll want to make sure you take a second and click below to grab the midterm rental insurance blueprint to help accelerate your process in being able to land these midterm rental insurance contracts with respect to your marketplace. Make sure you click the button below and grab it and continue on with the gems in this video. And what we do is typically remove instant book as well, because you want to be able to control that. But also at the same time, if you don't remove instant book because you really willing to capitalize on that, you're making it such a premium 30 days out that if someone did book, you'd be happy anyway, because it's a serious premium. I'm talking about like 300% markup, right? So that you're protecting that calendar. That is the best $15 you can use. And the reason I say $15, it might change. It could be 12, could be 15, could be 20 at some point. But that usually is the average cost for having a one listing that has dynamic pricing tool, is to have it on there so that when you duplicate your listing and duplicate your account, which you can watch in my next video on how to do that, you actually are putting yourself in a position where you can capitalize on that business, because you didn't let your short-term rental booking overextend you by accepting people outside. You had a metric, you had some guardrails, for lack of better words, that would keep them from booking too far out so that you can accept the bookings further out. Now, if you watch one of my videos, it'll show you the next video here, how and why you can actually use that duplicate listing to have folks adjust their initial request, because typically folks who are reaching out for longer stays have the flexibility to adjust their actual start date or check-in date by a couple days. It's not a huge impact. Rather, on the short-term rental side, you might be used to people being very keen and sensitive onto when they check in, right? It's very different. It's experience driven, and on the midterm rental, it's needs driven. So again, best $15 you can use is on a dynamic pricing tool that controls how much you are actually able to charge outside of the 30 days window, which you want it to be a premium to disincentivize the people from wanting to book in that window that could be critical for you to actually land longer term contracts, which we call midterm rental contracts, temporary housing contracts. That's how you're actually able to put your business in a situation where you can accept those by having a tool in place that will actually restrict folks from booking too far out to protect your calendar, because your calendar is everything when it comes to availability and profitability. If you got value from this video, make sure you check out my next video called Midterm Rental Operators Stop Using Airbnb This Way. You'll want to know why.